Hey YouTube, I'm Vaughn Friday. I'm a financial nerd, but not your financial advisor. Welcome back to the channel where we learn how to invest. And today on this episode, I have my good friend Marcus, who's making six figures as a high school teacher and is investing all of it in real estate. He's going to teach me how to invest in real estate from abroad and give me some hot tips. If you want more financial content like this, subscribe for more.
My name is Marcus West. I am 39 years old and I am a mathematics teacher. I'm here on Hot Tip Investments.
Good. Marcus, what are you investing in now?
Well, I have a mixture of investments.
Okay, break it down for me.
Let's
in
see.
percentages.
In percentages.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say the bulk of my investments are in real estate.
So what is that percentage?
That's probably roughly about, right now, about 80%.
80% real estate. Okay.
And about 20% stocks and
20% stocks. Oh,
things like that.
that's a lot higher than when we last talked. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No cash on the side for more real estate?
Well, I kind of like with the cash that I have, I kind of use that, put that in like safer stock investments like index funds and stuff like
So
that.
stocks
So a
include
lot of
index
the
funds.
right, a lot
it's
of
not
the,
individual.
right, a lot of the cash that I've earned on the real estate, I've invested in like index funds because they're a bit safer.
Okay. So any individual stocks?
A few here and there, but the bulk of it is in index funds, VTI, VOO.
Okay.
I got a little Microsoft, a little Apple.
Yeah. And so there's a breakdown of percentages. Are you comfortable in talking about your current net worth?
Last I checked, it was around like 480.
480. And let's say all the houses were paid off. What would it be?
If all the houses were paid off.
Yeah, if all the houses were paid off.
Top of my head, let's see. Let's just do a quick calculation. Probably about 400,000. No, wait.
No. So yours right now, your net worth 480 is minus the debt you owe on all your properties.
Which I owe zero.
You owe zero, so they're all paid off.
Yes.
So you are at 480,000 USD.
Okay, that's about my net worth.
Yeah, and you're just cash flowing all of it.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So what is the rental income right now that you're getting for the? You said
gross.
How many property doors?
I have 10 doors.
Okay.
One door is actually gonna be a flip, so that one I'm not generating income from.
Okay.
But the other 9, actually right now it's 7 because I have 10 doors, right?
Yeah, 10 doors.
One we're gonna flip. 2 of the doors we are currently doing renovations.
Okay.
Or, fixing it up.
Fixing it up.
But the other doors are actually rented. So really 7 doors.
7 doors right now. And what is that rental income looking like?
Right now it's about
gross.
About 5,100.
Making 5,000
About 5,000 a month, yeah.
5,000 a month after tax. Or what do you pay on taxes on that?
That's after. Well, that's just what they pay.
That's what they pay,
right?
Okay, 5,000 is what you get.
Yeah, and then probably after all the expenses and all that,
35.
Like no, it's a little higher than that. Probably like about 4,000.
4,000. Wow.
Yeah, about 4,000.
And do you lift any fingers at all, or you just kind of relax?
The only finger I kind of lift is, a tenant. It depends on the property.
Okay.
Some of the properties I have property management for. Some of the properties I kind of self-manage from China, which is crazy. Yeah. But those properties that I self-manage, they'll contact me through my Google Voice number via text, and then I reach out to my contractor, and then he sorts out all of that. And I just pay him on Zelle or PayPal or whatever.
Okay, contractor management. Now we're gonna backtrack a bit because we're getting into the nitty gritty. First, let's help the viewers. How you got started in investing? Because right now we're at the 10 doors. People are like, what the hell is a door?
Yeah.
What does that mean? And it's like, where does he get contractors and man? I just started. Like, how do I start? Like, so instead of telling them how to start, let's tell them how you started.
Okay. Real estate or just in general?
Investing in real estate specifically, because 80% of your net worth is in real estate, and you're taking home basically some more than the median income in the US,
right?
Barely lifting an hour's work.
Not too much work.
Not too much work.
I'll tell you some stories about some headaches. But considering what I do, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So let's go from the beginning.
Okay. So as far as the real estate is concerned, I guess we have to go all the way back. So I did buy a house when I was 25.
25.
It was at that time $205,000, and I was looking for an apartment. And while looking for an apartment, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should look for a house. So I found a realtor off the internet, and then we looked for a house. This is back in 2008.
2008.
So if you remember during that time,
housing crisis,
right? So they had incentives and all types of stuff.
Did you buy it at 205 at the top or bought it at the bottom?
It was at the bottom. It was actually a short sale. Originally that house was like 280.
Okay.
Or 275 or something like that, and then it went down to 205.
205. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you fund that? FHA?
I think it was FHA.
You got an FHA loan?
Yeah.
Okay. And for those of you who don't know what an FHA loan, could you explain that?
To be honest, I'm not really sure what kind of loan it was because it was so long ago.
Okay.
But it was a loan. I think the rate was like 4% or something like 4%.
That. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now, you bought the house for a house or for investing?
I bought it for a personal residence. I didn't know anything about real estate investing at all. So none of this bigger pockets, none of this stuff. I didn't know anything.
Okay.
And so this was my personal residence. And so when I bought that house, I was only making at that time about $50,000 a year. I wasn't even making that much money.
$50,000 at 25 as were you a teacher?
A teacher, yeah.
Teacher. Okay.
So I had my master's degree at that time.
Okay.
And so I was making that. So with that mortgage, all the bills, all the things that come along with it, it was a lot. I was somewhat house poor, I'll say.
House poor. So what was your mortgage towards your budget? What would you say it was?
I think my mortgage was like $1,400, and then I was making I don't know,
more than 30% of your.
Yeah, it was more than 30%.
More than 40%.
I would say it was around 35 to 40%, maybe 40%. Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Which is way too high.
Way too high. Okay.
And so, once you buy the house, it's not like I could just flip it and just sell it right quick. I'd gone through all of that. So I was like, man, this is a lot of money. What am I going to do? So long story short, I ended up what they call now, house hacking.
House hacking. Okay.
So I had 2 extra bedrooms. And so I rented out 1 bedroom to start. And then eventually I rented out both.
Oh.
So then they ended up paying the bulk of the mortgage.
Oh, so they didn't pay all the mortgage. They
didn't pay. I don't think it added up to all. Well, no, not to all of it, but the bulk of it. Because it included utilities and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, how long did it take from that house to the second house?
Oh, long time.
Long time.
Yeah, the second house was in 2018. Because let me tell you, in 2008, 2008 when I bought that house, it was a personal home. I still didn't know anything about real estate investing.
Yeah.
So I learned about real estate investing actually when I left America and I lived in Abu Dhabi, and I was in the desert. So all I did was listen to podcasts and things like that. So that's how I learned about real estate investing from I would say 2016 to 2018. That's when I learned about it through podcasts and things like that.
Okay, so from 2016 to 2018, you were learning how to invest. That's a big gap. Or what made you pull the trigger and sell your house in 2018 to buy your first property?
Correction. Actually, I bought that first property with proceeds from my father's life insurance.
Oh,
because he
sorry
passed
for
away.
that.
But what made me pull the trigger? Well, I moved back to America, so I was actually on the ground.
Okay.
So I didn't feel comfortable buying a house while I was living in Abu Dhabi, in America. So I waited until I came back.
And then what? So your first property, how much was that? Like
the first property was $32,000.
32. Where?
Yeah.
Wait, when is that again?
This was in 2018, and this was in Macon, Georgia. So
2018. So that's 5 years ago. You could get a house for $32,000.
Yeah, there's some that was like 20,000, 20-something thousand.
20-something
at that time. Yeah,
20 something. Okay. Do you have other properties that are like 32,000?
The second property was 18,000.
18,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a full functioning house.
It's a full functioning house with a roof.
It has a roof over it. Okay, 18,000. And you got loans for these houses, or
no? I actually paid cash because at that time I wasn't working. I was taking a sabbatical.
Oh, what is sabbatical?
Basically some time off. So I was taking at least a year off. I was prepared to take more than a year off, but I ended up taking a year off.
Okay.
And so during that time, I didn't have like a W-2 income.
Yeah.
Okay. So it kind of forced me to buy cheaper properties.
Did you want to buy a more expensive property?
Yeah, I was looking at like, because people always talk about multifamily. So I was looking at like the 4-plexes and 8-plexes, all of that. But those obviously cost a lot more.
And how much do those cost? When you were looking at it
at that, I mean, this was in actually another market.
Okay,
so I was literally like throwing the dart everywhere, like Louisville, St. Louis, you name it, right? Just like I just wanted a property.
Yeah,
I didn't care where it was or whatever. But anyway, it was way more than what I could afford.
Yeah.
So that led me down to there are properties that are less than 30,000 out there. So I said, let's try that because I can just cut a check.
And you could. Where did you learn how to invest in like different markets like that?
Oh, so I'm listening to podcasts like Bigger Pockets or Afford Anything.
Okay, Bigger Pockets.
Yep,
that's one. And Afford Anything. That's a
podcast. Yeah.
And I remember you mentioned something about Bigger Pockets. It helped you find something.
Yeah, it actually helped me find my first property. I actually found my first property on Bigger Pockets Farms.
The 18 or the 32?
The 32 one.
32,000 on Bigger Pockets. Do they still do that? Do they still?
I don't even know. I haven't been on there in years, to be honest with you. But I think it was just honestly God sending it to me, which just sounds crazy, but like just thinking about the timing of it all, everything just kind of lined up.
And now you have 10 doors, which is like 10 doors available, but seven
are producing income.
Yeah. And then, excuse me, you also have contractors and management.
Yeah, I mean, I do now.
So what do the contractors do usually?
They fix shit. Typically for the properties that I self-manage, there's still 1 or 2 properties that I self-manage myself. And so the contractor, I basically call him and tell him what needs to be done. He goes and he does it. I pay him on PayPal or whatever.
Okay. And the management, they help you find tenants?
They do, which is like, that's the number one thing for me because I don't like doing that.
You don't like
credit checks, finding tenants, I hate it.
Okay.
But they also, once the tenant is in there, they do all the other stuff. And then you still kind of have to manage the management, but that's another story.
And that's worth the money?
For me, yes.
For you, yes. And how do you do that making $50K a year?
Great question. So when I was in Abu Dhabi, I was a teacher still, but we made a lot more money. Yeah. So per year, I made about, 75,000, 80,000 a year.
75,000, 80,000?
Tax free.
Tax free?
Yeah.
As
a mathematics teacher teaching 8th grade.
So if you're teaching in the U.S. and you are not making $80,000,
You might want to consider.
Going to
either the UAE, Qatar, China, even which is where we are now.
Yeah.
There's a few other places too, but you can Google it, like highest paid teacher countries.
And then what are the salary ranges? Like,
I would say between per month, probably about $5K to I make about $8K.
$8K. So $8K before tax.
Yeah, so like my salary comes out to about $8K a month. They have $8K on my check. They don't take out, health care, none of that.
So it's after tax, not before tax.
Yeah, it's after everything.
So $8K, not Chinese currency, USD.
USD. Oh yeah, that's I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
$8K USD. Oh yeah, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Well, $8K is in my check, but then I also get housing as well.
Housing. And how much is the housing?
I guess I could tell it's public record, but USD, let me convert it real quick.
So just divide it by 7.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way.
Well, about 2,500.
2,500. So that's like 10K, more than 10K a month after tax as a teacher.
Oh yeah.
In another country outside the US.
Right.
So if you're a teacher and you're making shit, probably consider moving to another country.
Just think about it.
Just think about it. And the bulk of your income, like what do you spend it on? Like you're making over 100K a year. What?
You know what? Like my goal now is to build up my passive income. That's like my top financial goal. And as we all know, money is just a tool. Money is not the end all be all, right? We use that as a tool to do things that we want to do. That's what we're trying to do.
So you couldn't afford it at 50,000, but you could afford it now because you're making 100K.
Yeah, I had a lot more cash on me. Because back then when I was making 50,000, I only had, I'll never forget, I had $5,000 in my savings account in 2008. And guess what? When I left the U.S. in 2014, I had that same $5,000.
I mean, 5,000
in my savings account. It didn't go up. It didn't go down.
Hey, that's better than most Americans. Most Americans can't afford a $500 emergency.
It's hard. It's really tricky in America. But I feel like at that time I didn't have the right mindset. Mm-hmm. I feel like with the mindset I have now, if I was to go back to America, I would be able to save a lot more.
Oh. Because of bigger pockets.
Yeah, and just like I got my priorities in order. I know what I value.
Yeah.
Back then, it was more about what other people were telling me to value.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And how did you get from 50,000 to over 100K? Like teachers watching right now want to make 100K, but it can't be like I just got my master's. Now I'm going to make 100K.
No.
Like, what are the steps to get there, and how do you find the country? Like,
honestly, that's good. If you're a certified teacher, you can look up this thing called Search Associates.
Okay.
And so that they're basically a teacher recruitment database, and they have a lot of reputable international schools around the world. And you can see how much they pay and all of that kind of thing there. So I would say look there. But being in America, you're not going to make $100,000 as a teacher. It's just not happening.
It's not happening.
You know what I mean? But there are some international schools that will pay.
Are you teaching any more than you were in the U.S.?
No. Actually, I have less preps.
Less?
Back in the States, I had up to 3, sometimes 2, but like 2 to 3 preps. Now I have 1.
So less work, more money as a teacher.
For me.
For him.
Yeah.
Okay. So Search Associates and international schools. That's the best way for a teacher to get 6 figures. Now, what are the other requirements other than a teaching license?
Pushing teaching license.
Okay.
A lot of schools like for you to have some international teaching experience, but you don't have to.
Experience.
You just need the certification and the experience, and but just be willing to try something new.
Now, you said you had a master's degree. Is that a necessity?
No, I know people without a master's degree.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say no.
No, don't need a master's degree. Just get.
It can help you make a little bit more money, but no, like
not necessity.
Because there are other parts of the world that don't really put as much emphasis on master's degrees and PhDs and all that kind of stuff.
Got it. Wow, now what do you do with your money?
Great question.
Yeah.
So, the money that I'm making right now, I'm not spending a whole lot of it because here in China, like your lifestyle is not that expensive.
How expensive is your lifestyle here?
I just looked at it. I haven't looked at it in a while, but if you take out housing, I spend USD probably about $2K a month.
$2K a month, and then with
USD, by the way.
Yeah. With housing?
No, housing is taken out of that.
Oh, housing is taken out of that.
But if I add in housing, let's see, 2K plus about doing some quick math in my head, about $800. So $2,800.
$2,800. So less than $3,600 a year.
Yeah, and I don't like penny pinch anymore. I used to, back when I was trying to build up my wealth. Back when I was in Abu Dhabi, there was one time when I would not even buy water bottles. I would take these used water bottles and take it to the thing and fill it up so that I wouldn't have to buy water. I don't do that anymore.
Oh, I don't do that. I don't penny pinch, but I still do some money hacks. Me too. My favorite one right now is I still because I look very young, even though I'm 30. I still have my university ID, and I always ask for.
Mine. Oh my god!
I always ask for student discount, and whenever there's student discount,
you should.
I get my money's worth.
Yeah, you can pass for a college student.
Pass for a college student. Yeah. So, what are your investment goals then? A lot of people, they want to invest, but they want the money. I want to know, what is the money for?
Good question. Right now, the money is just to build up my passive income so that I don't necessarily have to work. So, you hear this acronym going around FIRE, financial independence. That's what I'm working on, which is financial FI. Not really retire early, but
just the FI number. Okay. Yeah. Do you know your
just
FI
for peace of mind?
Do you know how to calculate the FI number?
I go off of my passive income from the real estate.
Okay.
I don't even look at the stocks, to be honest. But the real estate is what I look at. So right now I'm at $4,000 a month.
Okay.
Ideally, I want to get up to in the $8,000 range.
Oh, so you're not looking at the total equity. You're just looking at the cash flow.
Just the cash flow.
Just the cash flow.
Just the cash flow.
So your cash flow, you want how much?
Probably around 8,000. I mean, I could live off of less.
8,000 a month. So that's
USD.
160,000 a year.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's 8,000.
No, maybe I don't need. Maybe I don't need that much.
That's 160,000 USD a year. Just times it by 2.
Yeah, we'll see how it is this next year when I'm not. I'm going to take a sabbatical, like I said. But we'll see how much I spend on the sabbatical year.
No, I'm wrong.
Oh, that was that's a lot.
72.
8 times 12, right?
94. No, 96.
Did you make it?
You're the math teacher. You're the one who should be correct.
12 times 8 is 96.
96.
There we go.
You're the math teacher. You're the one.
You can edit that part out.
No, I'm not going to edit it out. That just shows my math ability.
All right.
I'm a financial nerd, but not your financial advisor.
It's okay. So. That's what we have calculators for. It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, I should have brought my calculator. Okay, so 96,000. That's what you want to live off of. What are you going to spend that on? Because would you pay for rent still? Would you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I would factor that into my costs.
Okay, so
even if I am at my mom's house, I still help her pay bills and stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, we learned a lot on how to invest in real estate abroad and your income on how to get there. I just want to ask some final thoughts for you and want to pick your brain a little bit. What is your biggest money win? Financial.
I think my biggest money win is getting started.
Getting started. Okay.
Because I could have easily
How old were you when you started?
If you count the personal home, 25. But if you count investing, I was 34.
34. And if you were to look back, how old do you think you could have started?
That's the sad part, because 2008 you could buy a condo for like 10,000, 20,000, and those condos now are like 300. So I should have started back when I was like 23, 24.
But do you think if you had the knowledge you had now, were you mentally capable at 23?
Yes.
You were?
If I had the knowledge that I have now and I knew where to focus my money, I feel like I would at least have gotten one or two. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you think your 23-year-old self would be mentally capable
of what, handling like a rental?
Yeah.
I would learn. I would make mistakes.
You would make mistakes.
I still make mistakes, even at almost 40.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna make mistakes. Don't think that this is just some easy peasy, put some numbers on the paper and you're done. That's not how it works. Yeah. Trust me.
All right, that's your biggest money win, starting even at 34. It's not too late.
Never too late.
Never too late. At 34, he has a net worth of almost $500,000. And his passive income is around $4,000 after tax. Now, what is your biggest money loss?
Biggest money loss? It's kind of like in the same vein, right? I should have bought a property, years ago.
So it's like not doing something is your biggest money loss?
Yeah, not investing earlier. But on the same token, my win is starting. So the lesson here is to start.
Okay. Now, what about a decision? Because that's an inactive loss. Like you inactively did something. What is something like, I shouldn't have put money in that? Like that was a bad choice.
I'm trying to think of something in the real estate side, because everything has been pretty up and up for real estate. I can think of a stock one.
Okay, well, what is a stock one?
Well, I'm learning how to trade stock options. Deviation. And so with learning how to trade stock options is very risky.
Yeah.
So I should have practiced a little bit more in my practice account before going to my real account. And just because you have a lot of money in your real account don't mean you're going to make more money. It just means you're going to lose more money.
Wait, so of the 480, 20%, so around 100,000 you're playing with
I was kind of sort of, but I quickly stopped. Okay. I was like, this is not working.
Okay.
Let's go back to the practice account. And now with the options, I only my account starts at 2,500.
Oh, so you only
play with 2,500,
and the rest is.
And I try not to like keep funding it or anything like that. Like it'll go down. It'll go down sometimes. I mess up, but I have to build it back up.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Okay, you're not refilling it.
Yeah. Right. So my biggest money loss technically is just playing with my nest egg with like risky options and crypto, which I'm sure people make tons of money off options and crypto.
Yeah.
But again, it's risky. You can't play with your money like that.
Yeah.
Put it in an index fund or something.
Index fund. That's the way to go. I mean, 2,500 in options with your net worth, that's less. Yeah, that's less than 1%. Like, you can't be mad at that. Then all your properties are paid off. Do you have any debt? I forgot to ask you that. Like,
it depends on how you look at it. So the only real debt I have is student loan debt.
Student loans.
I do.
And how much student loan debt do you have?
Last I checked, like 140. It was around like 480.
480.
Yeah.
So when you did your net worth, did you account for this?
No, just subtract that part.
So okay. Let's do 480 minus 140.
Still not bad.
340.
Yeah.
I mean, 2,500 is still less than 1%. It's still less than 1%.
Now, one thing I can say is that right now I'm on income-based repayment. So I am paying on it. I'm just paying zero.
Oh.
So, after 20, 25 years, something like that, then they basically forgive the rest. So I'm just kind of like rolling my dice.
Rolling your
dice. Know,
I mean,
we'll see. But technically, I guess if you take that out, that is, my
okay, 340. Okay, yeah. And then you said you got into crypto.
Barely. I mean, I put like $50 in Dogecoin. I mean,
did you make a lot of money?
It was a lottery ticket. No, I lost money.
You lost $50. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little paper cut.
Are you gonna do crypto again?
Maybe one day, but I feel like when you spread yourself too thin across everything and not focus, that's where you get kind of lost.
And then where are you focused now?
Options. Day trading. I'm learning the day trading thing. So that'll be like my daily thing.
Why not real estate?
I'm still doing real estate.
So your main focus is real estate.
Main focus is real estate. That's going to be my bread and butter.
But you want to learn options.
Right, because I've seen people make consistent income daily, but it takes practice and discipline. Yeah. So the bulk of my portfolio is real estate, and I'm still doing most of my work on real estate. Okay. But it's fun to learn the options side.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you have enough money to, like, and you want to flex on how to, your financial muscles on how to do something else. Yeah. Like, I started off, like, my main focus was index funds. And then,
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, index funds, that's the way to go. And then I was like, how do these index funds make money? It's individual stocks. And I was like, let me see if I could do individual stocks. But I read a lot of stuff before I did it, and it took me from index to individual stocks probably 8 months before I pulled the trigger. Yeah, 8 months, and I wish I pulled it 8 months earlier.
Yeah. And it's so like, I'm glad you said that, because there's so many different ways to kind of reach that goal. Yeah. You have to find the one thing that you are good at, or you want to get better at.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing before we go, if you were able to talk to your 20-year-old self, what would you say?
I'll go back again and say start. Start and also figure out what you want to prioritize in your life. What's important to you. What would you like your future life to look like? Not what other people tell you from the outside, but what are your priorities? And then you can spend money. Like, it's okay to spend money, but spend it towards those priorities. Okay. And then also, obviously, save some off to the side. Invest, actually.
And what are those
to the side?
What are those priorities?
So, priorities could be spending time with family. Or travel. Or what's another one? It could be like a hobby, a special hobby you have. Like, you're passionate about jiu-jitsu or something like that.
You're passionate about jiu-jitsu?
I'm not. But somebody out there is, So just get clear on that, because if not, other people will tell you your priorities. Like, oh, you should be driving this by this age. That's a dangerous road to kind of go down. And most people go down that road. So you have to be, have a strong mind to know what do you want.
Yeah. That's good.
And put your money towards that, because you have to spend money, but what are you spending your money on?
Yeah, it's all about ratios. You're gambling with less than 1%. I think that's fair.
I think that's a fair gamble. It's like a little lottery ticket,
And that 1% is over the course of a year, Yeah. It's not in one day, hopefully.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm working on, my goal is to take that $2,500 and make $100 a day. Very modest. But that'll add to extra, a little less than $2,000 a month, depending on, we have days off.
I mean,
and that'll add to my passive. Well, that's more active, but it'll still add to my income.
Add to your income. Good.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any final words, Marcus?
My final words would be to keep things simple and to make sure you start no matter where you are. And always learn, but make sure you take action. Make sure you take action, because if you hear all this and you learn and you don't do anything, then it's in vain.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for giving us some hot tips on investing and building your career as a teacher abroad.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. All right, that's it.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. And here we go over our financial review of Marcus's situation. Now, who said teachers can't make good money? Marcus is working around the world, earning 6 figures after tax as a teacher. Something he taught me is where to look for jobs if I want to be a teacher and teach abroad in Japan, Israel, and all these other countries where they offer six-figure incomes to teachers. So if you're a teacher not making six figures and you want to travel the world, I suggest you rewatch this video and take some notes from Marcus. And he's investing back in the US, buying five-figure properties. I don't know where to find a five-figure house in the US. They're all six figures, some of them millions of dollars. But he has six figures in student loan debt, which he doesn't see it's a problem. I see it's a problem. But, you know, that's his financial situation. Sometimes people teach me instead of me teaching them, and I learned a lot from Marcus in this episode of Hot Tip Investments. Thank you, Marcus, for joining. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you